Whales in crypto are the people that actually move the price. A whale is just somebody with a lot of money, okay? It's a slang term. I usually think of it like somebody with 7 figures or more, millions of dollars. And whales are long-term thinkers. And in this video, I'm going to show you a very simple and low-risk method that whales can use to make money on PulseChain. And even if you're not a whale, you should pay attention because it's good to get into the psychology of a whale. If you plan on being a whale one day, which I hope you do, if you're here in the PulseChain ecosystem, if you're liked and subscribed to this channel, I hope you plan on becoming a whale one day. And if you want to be a whale, you need to think like a whale. So watch this whole video carefully because I'm going to show you that low-risk strategy. It's actually very simple, but at the end I'm going to talk about the bigger picture stuff of what I think is secretly really going on here, the grand scheme of this strategy to help pump PulseX. And I'm also going to touch on some harsh realities, some maybe uncomfortable truths that you might disagree with, but it is the reality that we're living in. Now, one thing about whales is that whales like yield. If you're a retail person with a couple $100s or a couple $1,000s, it makes sense why yield wouldn't be attractive to you. But again, we need to think like a whale. And yes, the majority of crypto gains, yes, they do come from the price going up. But while people are sitting around waiting for number go up, it's nice to have things generating yield, like PulseX yield farms or hex staking. All this stuff is attractive, especially to bigger players. Because where else are you going to get 30, 40, 50% APY on your coins? And there's other advantages too, which I'm about to touch on. Pay attention very closely. Again, watch the whole thing. Here I am on app.pulsex.com. This is the primary decentralized exchange on the PulseChain network. And we can either download it locally down here, or we can go ahead and click on the IPFS link because it's hosted on the decentralized internet. Here's the trading platform. It's pretty simple, right? It's pretty simple, but the new addition to PulseChain is the stable swap pool. You might hear me call it the stable 3 pool, the stable swap pool. It means the same thing. And I want to show you guys that up until now, the main strategy has just been yield farming. Okay, so if you go up here to the farm tab where my mouse is and you click on this, you can see all the yield farms that are paying you anywhere from 11% to 50% APY. 50% APY is insane. And again, for the whales, this is an excellent strategy. For example, if you've got millions of dollars, you can't actually buy PulseChain without moving the price against you a whole bunch, right? Eating a lot of slippage is what it's called. And so let's say you're a huge whale with like $5 million and you want to bet on the price of PLS going up. What you could do, especially now that PulseChain's at all-time lows, right? There's limited downside risk and basically infinite upside risk. For a whale strategy, one of the whale strategies that you can do, you know, if you're 7 figures and above, I'm talking to you, you could join one of these stable pools that's paired with PLS. For example, DAI PLS, USDC PLS, or USDT PLS. And look, first of all, they're all paying about 50% APR, which is just insane, right? And if the price of INC token goes up, that APR goes up too. So if INC doubles, I mean, the APR is literally 100%. That's insane. But this is how you would basically strategize if you wanted to buy a whole bunch of PLS without hurting the price. So you could get a bag of half stable coins and half PulseChain. Let's say $1 million of DAI, $1 million of PulseChain. You lock those together, and then as the price goes up, what you're effectively doing is you're scaling out of Pulse because everyone's buying Pulse on the way up. They're giving you their DAI and you're giving away your Pulse. But what it effectively is it's like you're selling and you're getting paid an INC token to be in this pool the whole time. And you're slowly offloading your PLS when the price is a 10x, 100x, whatever it is. So you can enter this liquidity pool when PulseChain is low, exit the liquidity pool when the price of PulseChain is high, and you don't need any slippage, and you earned INC the whole time, and you probably have a lot more DAI than when you started with. That's one strategy for any of these individual pools. But the new thing, I'm going to give you a tutorial on the new thing, and it's going to take literally 30 seconds. Okay, it's the easiest thing ever. You go to the trade tab over here, okay, the drop down, click liquidity, look where my mouse is, just click this. And on the liquidity tab, you'll see V1, V2, and stable. Stable swaps are the new thing, okay? This is just a single liquidity pool, but it's a very important liquidity pool, and we're going to talk about why. Now, to enter this liquidity pool, it's very easy. All you need is USDT, USDC, or DAI, or any combination of that. You could have 2 out of these 3. You could only have 1 out of these 3. It doesn't matter. It's not like those other liquidity pools where you need an even amount of both. If you've got $1 million USDT, but you have 0 DAI and 0 USDC, it doesn't matter because this pool uses a different algorithm. It's X plus Y plus Z equals K. It's not important right now, but it's different from the X times Y equals K from traditional Uniswap. And if you care about that, read the documentation. It's actually interesting, but I'm pretty sure most of you watching don't care about that, and you're not going to read the documentation. I recommend that you do that. I recommend that you do. But let's say I've got, 500K USDC and 500K DAI. I can go ahead and put that in this liquidity pool. Again, it doesn't matter what combination you have. If you have 1, 2, or all 3 of these coins, you just go ahead and add them, right? And you can see I've got, let's say, 30 cents worth of USDC. So I'm going to put 9 cents of USDC in here, and we just click supply, click confirm supply, and it's going to pop up with our MetaMask. I'm assuming you already have a MetaMask. You should have this figured out. If you don't have a wallet yet, you can also check out Rabby.io. Check out my last videos. I've got a tutorial about how to use Rabby right above. Rabby is a very secure wallet. It's got great user experience, and it's a really good alternative to MetaMask. But anyway, we go ahead and we click confirm here, okay? And we confirm the transaction. And then after about 10 or 15 seconds, you're going to get a stable LP token minted to your wallet. And that's it. That's the whole strategy. That's literally all you do, and then you start making yield. Stay with me. I'm going to show you in a couple seconds. You might want to add this stable LP to your wallet as well, just so that you know. See, look, this stable LP that you have, it just signifies your share of the liquidity pool. Okay, it's just a receipt showing you that you've put this much, stable coin into the stable swap pool. You can see here I've got 12 cents worth, all right? It's basically nothing, but make sure you add that to your wallet so that you can keep track of it, that you don't forget about it. You can also see your position down here at the bottom of the screen. But now if we go over to the info tab on top here, do this with me, guys. You can click info, and then where it says V1, V2, or stable, go ahead and click stable. Go ahead and click pools over here where my mouse is. Scroll down and click on the only stable pool right now. There's only one. It's USDT, USDC, and DAI. And what's happening here is they're all being linked together. And look at the APR for this right now, guys. 9.5% APR just for holding that stable LP in your wallet. Okay, so when you provide LP, if you've got $1 million of stable coins laying around, you're basically earning $95K a year in terms of swap fees. There's no INC on this one, right? There's no reward token, no INC, but the swap fees alone are generating 9.5% APR, and I think that's remarkably high for a stable pool. Because think about it, guys. These stable coins, the only risk here with these stable coins is basically bridge risk. Okay, if somehow something bad happens to the bridge, that's really the main risk, and I give that a very small probability, okay? All these protocols, they've been audited in the past. They've been working fine, but you do have bridge risk. But aside from that, $1 should be worth $1, should be worth $1, right? All these coins, they're stable coins. They're supposed to be worth $1. So you're eating zero risk of impermanent loss. Impermanent loss is normally the thing that people care about. With the stable swap pools, there's no impermanent loss. You're just raking in 9.5%. And by the way, if you're a retail user watching this, you probably shouldn't be sidelined right now. Like, be greedy when others are fearful. All right, this is not the time to be sitting on piles of stable coins. But you got to realize that whales with millions of dollars, they think differently. Okay, typically when you've got $10 million, you're not always deployed 100%. Okay, everyone's got cash reserves. Everyone's got different diversified portfolios. But you, as a smaller retail guy with a couple $1,000s, we need to take big swings on crypto. We need crypto to work out. We need those 10, 100, 1,000 X's sometimes. Okay, that's the asymmetric bet that crypto offers. But the bigger whale you are, generally the more conservative you get. Think about it. If you had $10 million in the bank right now, would you be betting that whole $10 million on the PulseChain ecosystem? No. Maybe you'd bet $1 million. And for crypto guys, you only need to be right once. Okay, one time, one cycle, if you play the cycle right, could be life-changing money. But after you make that life-changing money, you don't necessarily want to keep taking those crazy risks, especially when you get older. So I'm talking to two different audiences here. And again, for the retail people, this 9.5 is probably not going to be that attractive for you. This strategy is particularly for whales, but it's very important for the whole ecosystem, and I'm going to tell you why. Stick with me. It's actually very important. I'm going to tell you what's really going on here, under the hood, okay? As this stable pool gets bigger, look, there's only 300K liquidity here right now. That's almost nothing, okay? That's not that much. When that gets into the millions, what's going to happen is it's going to unlock big money to flow in. Giant whales are going to be able to now buy PLS and other tokens. They're going to be able to get exposure to blue chips like PulseX, Hex, and PulseChain in the RH ecosystem with minimal slippage. I'm going to show you an example. Let's go back to the exchange. Let's just say I'm a guy that wants to transfer my DAI, my USDC into DAI. So if I want to transfer 100,000 USDC into DAI, I can do that today with only less than $700 of slippage. And if I go down here, we can expand the route over here, and we can see that the order routing is now going through not only PulseX V1, but it's going through the stable 3 pool as well. And by going through the stable 3 pool, you get a much better deal. Because look, remember this number, 99.3, okay? If I turn off the stablecoin routing, if I turn off stable swap routing here, which you should never turn that off because why would you want less money? Okay, why would you want a worse deal? But this is how PulseX used to be. Okay, for $100,000, I'd only get $97,000. So what's more, $99,000 or $96,000? I think you know the answer, right? So basically it gets you more bang for your buck, gets you more money, better trades, better order execution. So I want more than $97,000. I want a better deal. I'm going to go customize and turn that back on. This is on by default, so I don't recommend anybody ever turn this off. Why would you want to turn this off? But look at the new route. Look at the new route and look at the new number. 97,000, 99,000. It's very simple. You want more. We're going to end this video with the big picture stuff. Okay, why do stable swaps matter so much? Well, not only are they a good way for whales that are sitting on stacks of stables to make money, 9% APY just for sitting on your stable coins. That's a good deal. I mean, you're not going to find 9% on stable coins very often. In crypto, that's pretty high. I mean, in the real world, it's very high, but it's pretty good for crypto too. But as this stable swap pool matures, you're going to have more and more efficient routing so that people can literally buy with millions of dollars into the ecosystem without pushing the price up against themselves and having to deal with huge slippage. So it's a whale call, right? It's an invitation to whales. Because look right here, guys. Today, for example, let's say a whale's coming in with, let's say 2 million USDT. If there was no stable swap pool, they'd be trying to buy 2 million USDT directly from a $9 million pool. That means if they're trying to buy 2 million into a 9 million pool, they're going to get a terrible deal. They're going to push the price against themselves a lot. But what they should do is split their order between USDC and DAI and USDT. But most people don't think to do that, even though there's so much more liquidity in these two pools. And basically $1 should be worth $1 across all these pools, so it shouldn't matter which pool you're accessing. Why should my $2 million only have to come from one pool? Well, now, if I try to buy with $2 million of USDT, that order will be split up for me behind the scenes, and it'll optimize by buying from not only this $9 million pool, but it's also going to include this $10 million USDC pool and the $26 million DAI pool. So by connecting them all together, my money goes farther. And the thing that I really want to get across here, the point that I really want to get across, is the only thing that makes the price of anything go up is money from the outside coming in. It's generating demand and it's dollars. If you want the price of Pulse to go up in US dollar terms, which, let's be honest, most people want the price to go up in USD because USD is the unit of account for the entire world. We price everything in USD. And so I'm looking at the PulseChain price chart. The price has gone down and to the right for 6 months straight. So here's a harsh reality, right? Is that all these other projects out here, they're claiming to be, oh, we're so good for adoption. If that was true, then why has the PulseChain chart just been bleeding down and to the right? Now you could say, of course, macro. Of course, you could say sacrificers, weak hands, SEC fear, all these different reasons. And I'm not saying projects building on PulseChain are bad. I like people building valuable stuff on PulseChain. I like when people's attention stays in PulseChain. But up until this point, this is just the truth. Guys, all these projects built on PulseChain, yes, they're sticky. And that's the good thing, okay? That's the good side, is that they give people somewhere to get stuck at. When people come into PulseChain, all these little projects built underneath, they give people a reason to stick around and not to leave. Because people's attention spans are short. Okay, people give up really easily. People talk about delayed gratification, but they give up pretty quick. So these projects are good for stickiness, right? Once you're in, you got a lot of different games to play. But up until now, we haven't seen big money coming in and pushing up the price of PulseChain. I'm talking about whales. Whales, I'm talking to you. With millions of dollars, we haven't seen a lot. Even though it would be so easy for whales to pump this ecosystem to the moon. I mean, think about how little money it takes. You've got $23 million total of buy-side stablecoin liquidity. That means a whale with $250 million could pump the price 100x. Yes, if you're watching whales on all your little whale buddies, if you and 10 friends get $10 million together, you could pump the price like 50x. That's how the math works. But we haven't seen that yet because it's been so hard for whales to get in. And the founder knows this, and the developers know this. That's why they're prioritizing things like stable swaps. Because all it takes is a couple big players to send this entire ecosystem astronomically high. People have no idea how slept on PulseChain is and how early it is, and basically how pumpable it is. But all that other stuff going on, in the grand scheme of things, when it comes to getting new money flowing in from the outside, a lot of the stuff going on the inside is just noise. Right? A lot of the stuff going on the inside is just projects and liquidity pools and changing the ratios of Pulse to coin XYZ to coin ABC, but they're not moving the bigger needle. They're not making the bubble bigger, at least so far. And I do hope, I'm very optimistic for a lot of these projects built on PulseChain that when big money does come in, these projects will add more value to the big players. I mean, stuff like, decentralized borrowing and lending, stuff like DeFi protocols and other various projects that are built. They'll suck people's attention in, which is good. But you need the money to come first. That's how this stuff works. Again, the only thing that pushes price up is demand, generating demand, and inviting millions of dollars to come on board, which is exactly what we're doing right here. With this stable swap pool, we're inviting millions of dollars to get 9% APY in a very safe, predictable form of yield. And again, once that stable swap pool is up and running, it's got a couple $1 million padding it, that is when big money players are enabled to pump the living shit out of this ecosystem. I hope you learned something. Make sure you like, subscribe, share the video, and leave a comment. That all helps with virality, it really does. And make sure to let your whale buddies know how few millions of dollars it takes for PulseChain to make life-changing gains.